Hey, how's it going again? This is the Untitled KKP show up for the fourth running. We are recording on 28th of March. My name is Jonathan Toyat of Kakuchopre. Joining me here is Lewis Larcom, also the host of Main Game, and yeah, cool, awesome writer and all that. So how are you feeling right now at this point in time?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm a bit bummed out. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but we had some news come out regarding a local Malaysian studio and some
Literally
layoffs.
5 minutes prior. I think you just wrapped it up like 20 minutes.
Yeah, literally. It was probably about 30 minutes ago that I finished writing the article about it. So, yeah, but we'll get into that a bit later. As for now, I can finally talk about a game that I'm playing as of today, but this video will come out in a couple of days or so, it's past the embargo regardless, but I am playing South of Midnight. I can't say anything other than that, really.
Yeah, so what the embargo he's talking about, dear listeners, is the announcement embargo that, hey, I'm playing X and Y, which usually happens as a social media thing. But yeah, we can't talk about it except for basically what we know about it is it's a down south Louisiana style adventure action game, pretty much. Maybe
Yeah,
we can
pretty
talk
much,
about I guess whatever is on the trailer, like who is the main character?
Yeah, so the main character is Hazel. You find out that she's a weaver. What a weaver is, you don't really know, at least from the trailers. But all you know is that they have magical abilities that kind of allow you to manipulate matter around you is the best way. That sounds a bit too sci-fi. It is a lot more whimsical than that from the looks of it.
So magic, basically.
But yeah.
Magic. Okay, that's interesting. I saw the trailers, like a couple of them. Looks very interesting, and these are from the guys who did We Happy Few. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems a bit. I don't think they've ever done an adventure platforming style kind of game before, but
yeah,
always the first time for everything, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think one thing that gravitates to that makes a lot of people gravitate towards this game is the art style. I think that was probably the biggest compliment about the trailers that you'll find online, which is the mix of kind of stop motion-esque animation and just the graphics all in all are just they look really, really good. So definitely something for people to look forward to. Yeah, all I can say is I'm looking forward to playing it, even though I already am playing it.
Yeah, alright, no problem. I'm looking forward to it when it's out, definitely on Xbox Game Pass for free, I'm guessing, yeah. Alright, so from my side, I've been playing a couple of games, one for review, and one possibly for review for fun, depending on whether I'll actually finish it. So first up is this Metroidvania search action game from Indie Creates. It's called Gal Guardians, Servants of the Dark. You play as two characters, Kirika and Masha. Two mates who had to go resurrect their demon lord to his full body because he was killed by a rival demon lord, and they have to basically get out of the castle after the holiday to search for the bones of their master. It's actually like a nod to Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, where they have to find Dracula's bones to put him back together and then kill him. But in this case, you're saving your demon lord pal. So it's a 2D pixel art Metroidvania search action. Compared to the first Gal Guardians game, which had two demon hunters, humans by the way, this one is a lot less linear and more Metroidvania-ish. It took me about, I guess, 15-14 hours to complete the entire game. And the way the levels and bits are structured is the castle's at the center. You start off going through the forest. You get certain abilities that let you traverse to different areas too, because they're usually being gatekeeped and whatnot. So, are you familiar with the search action Metroidvania genre, Lewis?
Not really. I mean, anyone who's followed KKP for a while should know that I've never really dabbled in Metroidvanias. The most recent one was Ender Magnolia: Bloom in the Mist.
Yeah, same idea.
Amazing game, yeah. Amazing game, by the way. But other than that, though, yeah, I haven't really Ender Magnolia is pretty much my most recent memory of a Metroidvania.
Okay, so because Indie Creates have done a number of these kind of titles. I mean, the last one was definitely the one based on Cinderella Idol, was it? Or Love Live? One of those franchises that turned into an isekai. Johan the Parthalion or something.
The Parthelion.
Yeah, Puffy, whatever.
Puff.
All the enemies are aquatic based, and you gotta go through the ocean and all that from your little village. It's interesting, but I didn't feel it was as. I feel like Gal Guardians 2, Gal Guardians Servants of the Dark, is a bit more fleshed out. Having said that, this is more of a Metroidvania that's for people like me who like to explore every nook and cranny, because there are a lot of things that actually would turn people off. For one, some of these areas can be obtuse and hard to go through unless you are diligent enough to explore every corner on the map to find the different bones, to find all the bones of your master. Because as you level up your master, you actually gain the abilities used to traverse through the entire game. So if you're just shy off a level, there's probably a corner of the map you haven't explored. So in a way, it's a nice little twist rather than like you complete a stage, you get the ability, and then you explore. This is more like you're grinding in a sense, and I'm really not feeling down for that. Compare that to maybe a Metroidvania like Symphony of the Night, an old one, or even the most recent one last year, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which is actually my favorite game of last year. I still prefer that traditional structure. Although, to be fair, I did play Blade Chimera this year, and I actually also prefer that structure too, where the leveling, I guess if you have enough special points, you get to buy abilities so that you can get to the inaccessible areas early, which is also a form of grinding in a sense. But I feel that it's easier to get SP points in Blade Chimera than to find bones in Gal Guardians. That's why it took me 15 hours, because of the grinding. And another issue is when you get an ability, they don't tell you how to use it. So it took me about like 10 minutes to figure out how to use this special ability that's required to get through the final parts of the game. I think I had to press all the buttons, mash it around. So hopefully Inti creates the game is already out, it's already launched. So hopefully they added in like an update where here's how to use this move, here's how to use that move. Yeah. But beyond that, the game is actually really fun. It's I like the graphics. I like the combat and the controls and everything. I love the boss fights, although there were some parts that repeat themselves, like fights with a sandworm. They repeat themselves too often.
Right, okay.
And it actually is, and then you know that this game is a spin-off of Gal Gun back in the day, where it's a game where basically you use a gun to shoot pheromones at women. So it's as etchy, it's what we cultured gentlemen call etchy games. Yeah, so Gal Gun's an etchy game. Gal Guardians has those kind of scenes, so just to let you know, because it is in that same universe. In fact, one of the bosses is actually Maya and Shinobu from the last game, and those girls know who the human characters in Gal Gun are. So there's a bit of like a tie-in and whatnot, and it's all connected basically, the Gal Gun and the Gal Guardian universe. In fact, there's even a running joke involving vines, where involving vines and females getting bondage and all that. That happens in this game too. I'm not gonna say when, but it's there. So consider this a content warning for people who want to play this game. So it has to basically keep in theme with the whole system. In fact, you can even get an achievement by... there's this boss. It's a dragon lady. She grows big, and she has an attack where she drools oil. And then when you if your character gets doused in oil, you get an achievement for it. It's...
what's the achievement called?
I think it's called Dripping Love or something. I'm not sure. Drool all over your love or something. It's an etchy game basically. Way. Yeah. But beyond that kind of trappings that could be troublesome for some people, I mean, I find it harmless. It's not an issue. It's still a fun game. Nice bit of exploration, nice combat, great boss fights, and lovely pixel art and whatnot. The other game I played... Give me a sec. The other game I played is Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay.
It is a JRPG on the Nintendo Switch, and it is a remastered version of the 2015 game on the Wii U. It has been stuck there for, I guess, 10 years, and it just came out like last week. So it is still the same kind of game from the 2015 version, except they took away a lot of things that actually slowed down the original.
Right.
Apart from the remastered graphics, which look really good, by the way.
Mhm.
Again, I'm in the camp where good aesthetics and good art direction can sell your game. It's not about the fidelity and how many pixels or rendering ray tracing shit you can put up. I mean,
Yeah.
this game's on the Switch and it looks pretty because of this art direction. And this is a
Right.
fucking Wii U game, dude. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I should start with the Blue Sky description. So you are a bunch of characters stuck in a planet because Earth is destroyed. You create a colony called New Los Angeles, and you gotta explore the world of Mira. And you do this by using your sci-fi weapons, killing the monsters that are attacking you, fighting off against the aliens that are hunting humans down, and also piloting giant mechas called Skells. Yeah, Skells.
Okay.
And once you get to the Skells, and when you get to them flying, then it really becomes a fun, like, really open-ended big game. This game requires a bit of hourly commitment, but it is worth it. Because if you want like a game that's kind of like imagine Halo mixed with Skyrim mixed with, I guess, an anime sci-fi show.
Okay.
And it's like a mix of sci-fi fantasy because Xenoblade has this like mixture and all that. But this one's a bit more high-tech because you got aliens to deal with, and spaceships, and of course the mechas. And that's all really well done and really great to do. And there's a lot to explore here and there. And I feel that the edits they did for this game compared to the old version is a huge improvement. So in the old game, you have blade levels, and that adds to your grinding time because there are some activities you cannot participate without putting your blade level at the particular level, like level 10 onward. In this game, in the new version, they took all of that away. So you can do whatever the hell you like.
Okay.
I mean, yes, there are still chapters that require you to explore the world. Like, you need to get your survey rate of a particular continent to 20%. But that's because that requires you to explore the game, and that's the whole point, right? And just complete a quest or two. And there are a lot of side quests and, I guess, affinity quests you get to go through to level your character up. This game has a lot to do, and there's just so much in store that you can get lost in about, I guess, 100+ hours, like Metaphor.
Yeah.
So it's basically one of those games where I know I talked good things about Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I prefer how fast-paced Xenoblade X is.
Right.
And the fact that the combat is kind of reminiscent of, imagine mixing an MMO-style combat real-time with cooldowns and shit, except there are things that actually speed it up. Like, for example, in this version of the game, you have this skill called Quick Cooldown. So you got a meter at the bottom right that's green. You fill it up by doing things, attacking, blocking, and whatnot. So when the meter's green, let's just say all your attacks are used up, the main attacks in the center, all are used up and whatnot. If they're all like in cooldown, you can use the quick cooldown on one of those abilities to use it again. And you can keep doing it again and again until the green meter's gone. So if you want to get to your action stuff really quick, use the quick cooldown mode lah. And also another cool thing is all the attacks are color-coded. Back then, when your characters make a shot calling thing, it's hard to determine which abilities will complement it. Because if you complement it according to what they're asking, you get TP points, which basically is a resource you use to do better and bigger attacks. Like an overdrive, which lets you use all your attacks without cooldown. Or heal your character. Or do a more stronger sword attack or a gun attack or a buff.
Okay.
So now all the attacks and commands are all color coded. So when your character shouts out, "Hey, I need support here," which is it's highlighted in green. So use a green ability. So at least you know that use a green ability, so I get TP points or a bonus.
Yeah. Okay.
And if it's a red call out, use red, use orange, and so forth and so forth.
Right.
And I think those are like the big changes in the game.
Yeah.
And the ones that actually stood out in my mind so far within my like 10 hours of playing the game at this point in time.
Okay.
And I'm having a blast right now, honestly. Maybe I'll talk more about it in the next coming episodes, but so far, if you're really looking for a value for your money kind of open world sci-fi game with mechas, this is the way to go.
Okay.
Oh, and for the record, if you want to use the mechas, I think you have to be at chapter 6, get your license, and then you got your robot. You're done.
Okay.
And then to get the flight mechanics, I think that's later in the game. I think chapter 9 onward. It's a big game. It's a really big game. And there's a lot to do in the ground before you get to the robots. Because there are a lot of inaccessible areas that require you to have a robot.
Okay.
You got any questions? Is this something that
Yeah.
you really want to buy a Switch for?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple games from the sounds of it, and just even from the looks of it, it looks phenomenal. But you know, I don't have what do you call it? I don't have that like nostalgia for like the Xenoblade genre. And I know that for a lot of people, you know, the people who, you know, a lot of people grew up playing the Xenoblade games and whatnot. So, I think I won't get the same satisfaction as say those people
Actually,
would.
that's the best part. You can just go into this blind because this is entirely there's no continuation or nothing. This is like a new story. Because all you need to know is your Earth is blown up by aliens and you gotta survive in the other world that you're stuck in. That's all you need to know. Explore. It's self-contained. That's the best part about this. Xenoblade 2 and 3, they are linking to each other, but that's only at the end. You can still play those games fresh. But if you prefer a sci-fi slant with a bigger world to explore and more things to do here and there, yeah, Xenoblade X is the way to go. I mean, you and I both like mechas, so this is like a no-brainer in a sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, sounds good. And then obviously, I think that goes without saying. Like, did you played the original on the Wii U, right?
Yeah, I finished it, so I kind of know what's up. But I still play it again because it's been 10 years, and I think my only complaint with Xenoblade X is some of the combat themes are just really, really trying too hard. Like, they added like some faux pas rap from a Japanese guy, which is trying to rip off Lotus Juice, but worse. But apart from that, that's my only minor complaint. I love everything about this game, and the music is a non-issue. I mean, it's only like among like 1 or 2 stinkers or 3 stinkers, you've got like the rest of the soundtrack, which is very atmospheric and very uplifting, to say the least.
Right. Okay.
I think there's a song called Theme of X or X Theme. That's really I guess you could say Yasunori Mitsuda, the composer, and Ace Plus and everyone did a bang up job with the Xenoblade games, and Xenoblade X is no different.
Okay.
All right, cool. I think we're done talking about games. Let's head on to the news. Maybe you could start off with the sad thing you brought up.
Yeah. So going back on to what we briefly brought up at the beginning of the episode, Lemon Sky has unfortunately seen a round of layoffs, mainly in the 3D department. So the way we came about knowing this was on LinkedIn. About from my count, around 10 or so people went up and posted pretty much that they were open for work or that they were looking for opportunities, and they were all mostly from Lemon Sky's 3D department. This happened all within the past maybe less than 24 hours. It's definitely unfortunate to see. You know, the amount of news that I've written about layoffs happening in the Western Hemisphere, I can't even begin to fathom how many articles I've actually written so far about it. But you know, it's sad to see that it's slowly bleeding into Malaysia. And they're not. Lemon Sky isn't the only victim of this. Earlier this month, Jon wrote an article about PlayStation Malaysia also having some layoffs as well. Although that was kind of, you know, yes, that's more on a global scale, but it's sad to see that even industry giants like PlayStation also, you know, kind of suffer with this in countries like Malaysia as well. I think one thing that I definitely found interesting was that a former senior 3D modeler at Lemon Sky who left back in November went on to say, I'll read it bar for bar, but his link post read, another round of layoffs today in my X studio. I hope that if I or other senior artists stepped away, it might help improve the situation, but that doesn't seem to be the case. At our last big group meeting, we were encouraged to submit any issues or concerns for open discussion. I vividly remember us submitting over 40 questions, hoping for transparent and constructive dialogue. Instead, upper management responded with a single phrase in Mandarin, which roughly translates to, "The greatest sorrow is not death, but a heart that has lost all hope." So, it's never a good time when your management replies with, you know, metaphors and hyperbole for, you know, instead of giving you a direct answer for your questions
or something out of the pages of Confucius.
Yeah.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
This okay, because Lemon Sky has done a lot of work for different studios here and there
Yeah.
as a asset making company and doing level design, artwork, and whatnot. So I do know some friends who left Lemon Sky prior on because they knew something was up. So this
Yeah.
could be the up that they might be referring to.
Yeah.
I guess the point is this is affecting, I guess, other studios from the US or Europe who rely on Asian studios to create assets for them. They're also facing a bit of a problem too, and that could be affecting these studios. Hence the
Yeah,
layoffs.
definitely. Yeah, it could be very much like a chain reaction type of thing. And I also think that I think there's room for speculation. Obviously,
Too much
I think
room for speculation.
yeah, there's too
Because
much room
no
for
one's gonna
speculation.
say anything.
Yeah,
Especially when you're in a third world country, they cannot say anything for fear of reprisal and whatnot if you still want to be in the field. That's all I'm gonna say because I was actually close to saying the name of some of the companies, but no, I rather not because
yeah,
I just say there are people who are around in this industry who are loyal to the people who got them the jobs, and they rather save their faces in the future in hopes of maybe coming back again through the revolving door.
yeah,
And that's all I can say. I hope I'm being vague here, lah. I mean, I guess because I cannot mention names here and there. People are still want to be in this field, but they cannot. It's all up to upper management and also outside factors in terms of like big projects and scope.
yeah.
I
definitely.
believe if there are any games being announced in the middle of the year, might be lesser. If there are less people, if there are less studios or less companies not able to handle more busy work here and there.
Yeah,
But hey,
Yeah,
maybe they might announce more games in the middle of the year because Summer of Game Festival is happening. Got June happening. Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, definitely, my heart goes out to them. I think the gaming industry in Malaysia is something that's still quite small, still quite niche, and still very much in its infancy. Still, it's growing and it has been growing. It's much better than it was a couple of years ago.
It is.
And I think if you're a kind of optimist and glass half full type of person, I think you can kind of look at this as kind of maybe perhaps growing pains within the industry. Yeah, my heart goes out to them because I know it's not an easy job and it's an even harder job to land as well. So, yeah, I feel for them and I hope that they all manage to find work elsewhere.
All right, we're gonna go on to this really big piece of news on my side here. So the Nintendo Direct happened on March 2025. It's a really big one. I mean, I guess a lot of people online thought, oh, it's going to be just a bunch of small news before the big one that's happening on the 2nd of April. But lo and behold, that's a lot being announced here, in fact. So,
yeah.
Let me just open up the document right here. So, in order of stuff being announced, we have Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, which is obviously the redoing the 2D HD 2D remake of Part 1 and Part 2 on Famicom on Nintendo.
Yeah. There's so many comments. I was looking at the trailer for this, like the individual video that Nintendo posted, and I think I read 2 specific comments that literally stated that they cried when they saw this announced. Like they were tears of joy. So I know that the reception online has just been, die-hard Dragon Quest fans are absolutely gassed about this.
Yeah, not me though. I think I've told a lot of people that I'm not really a big Dragon Quest guy. It's a game. It's a series. I mean, don't get me wrong. You love it. That's cool. For me, it's a game that sticks true to its roots and is very stubborn at doing so.
Yeah.
It is old school to a fault, and I'm the kind of guy who prefers something a bit more progressive and new, like Metaphor, Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasies that came out that's tried something different here and there. And if I want something traditional, I'm just gonna dust off my Famicom or turn on an emulator to play whatever that's old, right? And then, I mean, if Dragon Quest, every new iteration is always going to be old school and whatnot, even a retread of the old games. I even tried to play 11 and I just gave up halfway because I'm just not a fan of the grinding and its old schoolness per se. It had a good twist at the end, but that's beyond it per se. It's not something that you see me playing per se. And plus, I'm not a fan. Okay, in fact, I do feel that the director Yuji Horii. I think the only good thing he did, in my opinion, is the Chrono Trigger. And that was actually a game in 1995 that was a collaboration with Hironobu Sakaguchi and Yasunori Mitsuda and whatnot, and Akira Toriyama. And that's probably the only fresh game that he's ever made, if I'm being honest here. And every other Dragon Quest that came out just feels like a goddamn slog to me. And I don't like games that just go back for the sake of going back to its roots and being as old school to a fault. When every other JRPG is always doing something new. Like Suikoden back in the day, like Final Fantasy, and I guess Persona, Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, and all the other spin-offs here and there. And then you have Dragon Quest. The only reason Dragon Quest is popular is because of Japan, and they're just being stubborn at sticking to the old games and whatnot. It's just something I don't know. It just feels like you're just going back for the sake of going back. It's just that's the definition of nostalgia pandering and nostalgia bait. Seeing a game through rose-tinted glasses, and all that. And I'm also not a fan of the composer. I mean, thank God he died. Okay, before you say I'm being a mean guy, Koichi Sugiyama, the composer, he purposely made sure that all remasters and remixes of the game do not play the orchestra version. They have to stick to the MIDI recordings of the game because he wants to make sure he gets ticket sales going to him for his orchestra stuff. And Japan has this history with China and all that, and usually it's not the really dark side of history. Especially this incident with the rape of Nanking in China.
Okay.
Koichi Sugiyama is a supporter of that. He supports the fact that comfort women he justifies their enslaving women in China to be comfort women for the Japanese occupation. And he actually opened up, he's using the money from the orchestras and the remixes to fund for this government initiative to justify the rape of Nanking from Japan's side.
Wow.
Fucked up, right?
Okay. Yeah,
so,
this is all news to me. I'm not that all familiar with that side of the history of it.
But the good part is he's dead, and a new composer took over him, and he actually did a much better job with the remixes. So that guy can go fuck himself. Whatever, good riddance. And to an extent, that's why I don't support Dragon Quest. But apart from it being a pandering nostalgia kind of game, so all right, let's get all this emotion out of the way and talk about the new stuff. Yeah. All right, No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI the Somnium Files. A lot of people like this adventure game. Probably looking forward to that. Also, the next piece of news is really something that I'm looking forward to. Raido Kuzunoha and versus the 100 Souls Army. Okay, I'm just gonna read. Okay, so this game is called Raido Remastered: The Mystery of the Soulless Army. It's a remaster, remake, rejig of a PS2 action adventure title, RPG title.
Okay.
It's part of the Shin Megami Tensei 3.
Okay.
If you look at the trailer, it's like, oh, okay, this is the guy Kazuma Kaneko and whatnot doing the art and whatnot. And Soji Meguro did the music.
Yeah.
It's basically an action game. You do detective work here and there and find out the mystery of the Soulless Army. And from this woman named Kaya, and you're the detective who is a devil summoner, like a long line of devil summoners. He fights with a katana, but he mostly uses his demon powers to summon the devils and the summons from Persona and Shin Megami series to fight for him. And this isn't like a very dark game. It's a very light, peppy, jazzy kind of title. Like it's got colorful music, a colorful setting. It's set in 1930s Japan during the modernization era, I believe. The Bakurat Roman, I think. Because everyone's using telephones and there's electricity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that era. And your main character is the serious one, whereas your employer is actually a lazy detective kind of guy who runs the business. And it's a fun game. It's got action-packed stuff, and there's new content as well. Like there's actually voiceovers in the game this time, because the PS2 original does not have it because of budget reasons back in the day.
Oh yeah, okay, it makes sense. Yeah, I would say I hear you can also fight like Rasputin in it as well.
Yes, you can. He is actually a boss in the game. It's fucking hilarious. So it's a fun game. Really, it's like because at the time Atlas was releasing Persona 3.
Right.
They also released I guess one of the Shin Megami Tensei 3, and then they released Digital Devil Saga. All these games are kind of dark in their own way. So Raido Remastered at that time was the antidote, where the story is still epic per se. You're still fighting demons and shit and whatnot, but there's a bit of levity to all the situations. In fact, conversing with demons is actually a hilarious thing going on as well too, like the banter back and forth.
Okay.
There's a bit of comedy. There's more comedy in this game.
Okay. Yeah. And that's releasing on, was it 19th of June, right?
19th of June, and it's not coming out. And this is not only coming out for Nintendo Switch, but also for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5.
Okay.
And we have Shadow Labyrinth, which is the Pac-Man game, the remake of Pac-Man, but in a 2D action ninja style kind of game. It is coming out on 18 July for all consoles, not just the Switch. It's based off the secret level stage, the story.
Yeah.
Then we got Patapon 1+2 Replay, which is apparently Bandai Namco has most of the licenses for the Japan Studios titles. So you've got Patapon 1 and 2 Replay, which is coming out for Switch and PC and consoles. And then you also got Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah.
Originally a PlayStation exclusive game, but now Bandai Namco is publishing it for all consoles. That's probably the game I kind of want to play because I like the cute characters and the golfing and the arcadey style of golf, which I kind of miss. And Clap Hands have done a great job in refining it in every entry. So I think what's funny about the title is actually called Everybody's Golf, Hot Shot Golf.
Hot Shots, yeah.
Yeah, Hot Shots. So it's basically a play on, because in Japan it's called Everybody's Golf, and in America in the English version it's called Hot Shots Golf. So this is the time they combine it both together for like a nice little localization joke. So
okay.
But the game will still be the same. If you like action arcadey-like golf that just goes by really fast and it's very multiplayer centric, because you get to have like 4 players fighting, taking turns, of course. It's a fun party game per se. And plus you got mini games and whatnot. So the question is, how packed will this version of the game be? I guess we'll find out about June or July. So we have a Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, which is the real Harvest Moon from the real developers of Harvest Moon. It's going to have a bit more of an open market kind of feel from the looks of the trailer. You still get to marry the people in the village and in the city. And you get to farm and create vegetables and plant stuff here and there, make up a little farm thing. Don't know if it's your thing though. I mean, is that something you...
No, I'm not really. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's adorable, and I grew up around people that used to play like Harvest Moon and stuff like that. But it's never been my cup of tea per se.
Here's something that could be a cup of tea: Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, a first-person shooter / search action game. So basically, imagine all those search action games I mentioned, except in the shooter kind of perspective. So you play as Samus. She's on a new planet. We don't know why. She gets a new red suit and she has gravity powers. So you have to basically use telekinesis to push enemies, like force push, and also lift buildings, blocks, or objects or whatnot from far away, while also rolling into a ball, going through crevasses and whatnot, and shooting things dead with a gun. She'll probably have lots of weapons and missiles at her disposal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because of at least with the opening of the trailer specifically, I think the planet's called Virus, and it's like a very tropical kind of planet. It's giving like Halo, like the start of Halo 3 for me, especially with the HUD and everything, and specifically the shape of the minimap and of the radar in the top left corner. It's to me, it's just like Metroidvania's Halo, essentially.
Yeah,
in terms
pretty
of
much.
First-person shooter, and the aliens as well are like they've just been ripped straight out of the Halo universe as well. So
Retro
this
Studio
looks really good.
Yeah, the developers of Retro Studio did actually take some like cues from Halo, because that came out first, and then because every other studio wanted to make their first-person shooter, Nintendo said, "Hey, let's take Metroid and turn it into a first-person shooter." Worked out really great. There were 3 sequels, now a 4th one. And I'm actually looking forward to this, especially when I can play it on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is obviously going to be out as a launch title. It's going to do that thing like with Breath of the Wild, where it came out, the game will come out for its previous platform and its current platform.
Yeah,
so it should be fun. Witchbrook is a new 2D isometric adventure game where you play as a witch trying to graduate from witch school. So Harry Potter, but 2D and all girls. And there's co-op play as well.
Okay.
Looks interesting. Really cute, actually. I don't know what else is there to say except it's going to be a wholesome kind of game.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Eternal Life of Goldman is a 2D platformer with an interesting art style. And it's kind of dark. It's coming out on holiday 2025. Classic frame-by-frame kind of animation. I think it's going to be a straight-up platformer, not so much a Metroidvania like we've discussed earlier on.
Yeah, it looks to be like that, yeah.
Very, very linear and looks hopefully fun. Gradius Origins, the collection of all the Gradius games on the NES and Super Nintendo, from Gradius 1, 2, 3, Salamander 1, Life Force, and Salamander 2. Now, what's new about this Konami collection is that they're adding a new game called Salamander 3. So they're both, think of it like a cousin, like Doom and Quake for first person.
Okay.
So Gradius is 2D, got its own structure of combat here and there. Life Force and Salamander, it changes perspective. Sometimes it's top-down, sometimes it's side-by-side. And it's got its own slew of enemies and a system of scoring and getting power-ups. They're pretty fun, but they're more old-school, tailored, and whatnot. So there's a collection for people like me who played these in the arcade.
Okay.
Or rather, in my case, I played Gradius 1 on Nintendo. And then I skipped to Gradius 5 for PlayStation 2. That's like a huge jump, because I thought everything all looked the same to me, if I'm being honest. Alright, Rift of the Necromancer is finally out on Nintendo Switch. It is out right now. I've reviewed the PC version. That's a very, very good rhythm game that you should check out. It's got a mix of like the lane system. You got to hit the notes and all that, and all the enemies all move differently to the rhythm of the music being played. You've even got bonus tracks from games like Celeste and Pizza Tower and Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
And you've got like some mini games in the story mode where you basically have to put a burger together in the rhythm of the song, like a Simon Says sort of thing. Speaking of those kind of mini games, Rhythm Heaven is finally getting a long-awaited sequel after God knows how long. I'm just gonna skip through all the rest of the crap, so I'm gonna focus on this stuff. Rhythm Heaven Groove is the upcoming sequel to the Rhythm Heaven series, and it's coming out in 2026. I love and hate this trailer because alright, we're getting a new rhythm game. Fuck, it's next year.
Right.
Yeah, but it looks so good. I mean, it's been a long time coming. The last Rhythm Heaven pure sequel was a Rhythm Heaven. There was the one on the Nintendo Wii.
Right.
That was really, really good. It had a lot of mini games that I actually enjoyed. One involving a cat and a dog driving a plane on their own planes in the sky, like airship, like those are biplanes with the propellers, and they're playing badminton. And they basically got to hit the shuttlecock in accordance to the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you hear a cue like pum pum pum, you got to hit it really fast.
Right,
and there'll be the really fast beats coming in and cadence and whatnot.
Okay.
I had a chat with one of the guys with the main creator of Rhythm from Seven Heaven Games, 7-beat games. Rhythm Doctor, the Malaysian made game. Yeah. He said that his favorite and his most inspirational game that actually made him to do stuff like Rhythm Doctor is Rhythm Heaven and Rhythm Tengoku. So the series came out on the Game Boy Advance and also on the Nintendo DS. So he clearly got inspiration from the classic games back in the day. So when you play games like Rhythm Doctor, you'll see the huge inspiration from Rhythm Heaven. Okay. So of course, I will tell you that the game is fucking hard. Like the kind of game where you have to really be on cue with your ears to listen to the beat here and there.
Right.
To the point where it's really hard to get perfect, let's just say that. To get some songs perfect because of the timing and the cues and the trickery of it all. Yeah. In fact, there are some moments in the game where they obscure the screen so that you actually have to listen to your ears about when the beat is coming.
That sounds like my hell. It sounds like my absolute hell. Like, I suck at rhythm games. Despite having grown up playing Guitar Hero, I was just never any good at it. And most rhythm games, I usually steer clear of them just because of how bad I am. I think the most recent one that I've put the most time in recently was maybe Osu, but Osu's in its own category of rhythm games, But in terms of your box standard, rhythm games, I think Rhythm Doctor is probably the one that I've seen the most of in recent memory.
All right,
that's a great game.
Just a couple more games before we wrap it up. Pokemon ZA is coming out late 2025, and that is the open world action adventure version of the Pokemon game. Like we have Pokemon Legends Arceus, the old one that's actually in like a village or some shit. Now it's in the city, and you got the monsters from the. I guess it's actually based off XY, Pokemon XY, the city.
Yep.
And you got like all the monsters like Lucario and whatnot. So in the daytime, you gotta hunt down the monsters and also collect them in your party. Nighttime, you end up fighting more gym trainers and whatnot because it's basically like a Coliseum Battle Royale at nighttime in the city of Layoffs.
Yeah. It's like a fight club in a sense, like a Pokemon fight club, and there's a league, and it's very much the reason why it's called ZA is because you start off Z rank in the Royale, and you have to kind of climb your way up to A rank.
Yeah, cute. Coming out late 2025. If it plays on the Switch 2 and a better frame rate, I will buy it. But that's the reason I was turned off by Pokemon Legends, the first one, because it ran like garbage.
Yeah, I mean that was probably the biggest complaint. So hopefully this one should be a lot better.
Because it'll be on the Switch too. It has to be better. Otherwise you're gonna have a lot of sad Nintendo fanboys complaining over and over and over again. I mean, when I was at the chat looking at the YouTube stream for this, you got people asking for Silk Song 2 and complaining about where's Mario, where's this and that. Come on, you got a really good slew of announcements in this. And okay, speaking of which, maybe I'll just cap it off before my review of this. The last game that actually piqued my interest is Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play the Ninja Turtles game back in the day, a couple of years back?
No, I didn't. No.
So it's actually from the same developers of Shredder's Revenge.
Right.
So that's why the art style looks a little similar, and I believe the controls will be about the same. It's an action-packed beat 'em up. You get to play up to 4 characters on the screen. With 3 other people, 4 players. And it's got this little tag system where you pick 2 heroes and then you get to tag them in for like extra combos and damage and special moves and whatnot. So the selectable roster, I mean, they say there are 50 characters to select from. So the ones that are revealed so far are Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Venom, Storm from the X-Men. You've got Nova from, I guess, the Guardians of the Galaxy and from the space parts of Marvel.
Yeah.
And Quasar from Guardians of the Galaxy. So in terms of like the extra characters, we might see more GOTG characters, or maybe from, I guess they got Spider-Man filled out, so maybe you got X-Men and the Avengers. Probably Iron Man and the Hulk would be good at it, or Thor even.
Yeah.
Because the main bad guy in this is Annihilus from the space side. Like basically he's on the same level as Thanos in terms of like, or even more powerful than Thanos.
Yeah.
That kind of like big bad in the Marvel universe. And the bad guys we're mostly fighting are of course aliens from his army, alongside maybe AIM from the guy who the company that MODOK is leading, AIM, and probably some mutant enemies or maybe even Sentinels you get to fight. Who knows? Because you have like all the characters from Spider-Man, X-Men, and Avengers, and Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a whole mix of enemies you can pick up from, you know?
Yeah.
This is something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, it looks good. You mentioned like if I played it. Now that I think back, I did actually play the TMNT Shredder's Revenge, but the only experience I have playing it is actually at our booth when we hosted a competition.
Oh, that was a while back. Oh, right,
yeah,
right.
For Animangaki.
Yeah.
At Animangaki, that was we even had the custom hitboxes for it as well. The custom
joysticks. Yeah, that was good. Good times.
Yeah.
So who knows if this game comes out like on time? I mean, it says it's coming out holiday 2025, and it might be delayed. Who knows? So who knows? Maybe next year if we have like some sort of like booth thing going on, we could maybe bring the game in. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. All right, and that is it for our show. I think I can just wrap it up. Thanks again, Lewis, for joining me. And this is me, Jonathan, signing out. If you want to check out more of our content, we can hit the like and ding dong button at the bottom that's going to show up at the bottom here. And check out our YouTube site, Kakuchopre. Check out our website, www.kakuchopre.com. And that's it. See you then, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.